Mary Had a Little Lamb opens like a whispered urban legend. You're dropped into a remote forest, inside a quiet house, where a woman gently hums a lullaby to a little girl. But that calm, it's fake. The girl is covered in blood, sobbing in fear, while the woman keeps smiling like everything's fine. And right there, in the opening 10 minutes, you understand what kind of movie this is. This isn't just horror, it's psychological suffocation. We watch the girl dragged into this cult-like domestic nightmare. Her friend lies nearby, also mutilated, and then comes the real kicker. A demonic creature enters the room and rips the boy apart right in front of her. As if that wasn't disturbing enough, the girl is forced to consume parts of her dead friend. It's raw, disturbing, and visceral. Horror that pushes boundaries. Her attempt to escape into the woods fails because the woods are his. The demon hunts her down, drags her back, and she's tortured to death under Mary's cold orders. And just like that, the prologue ends. Now the real story begins. We're introduced to Carla, a radio host whose true crime show is circling the drain. Her boss gives her one last chance to revive it, find a killer story, or get shut down. And when two teenagers disappear in the same haunted forest from the opening, she sees her golden ticket. It's a smart genre twist, replacing the usual naive victims with professionals chasing content. Carla's desperate for ratings, and that desperation blinds her to every red flag she's about to walk into. Her crew follows the trail of the missing teens deep into the forest, where over 20 people have vanished in the last decade. The forest is vast, empty, silent. No birds, no bugs, just shadows that feel like they're watching. Eventually, they stumble upon a perfectly preserved house in the middle of nowhere. That's when things shift from creepy to predatory. Mary welcomes them inside. Yes, that Mary. She offers them tea and smiles too hard. She says she lives there with her 33-year-old son, who never goes outside, never speaks to anyone, and exists solely to protect her. It's the kind of backstory that screams run. But Carla smells content, not danger. Against every instinct, she insists they stay the night. It's ambition versus survival, and ambition wins. Inside the house, nothing feels safe. There are no pictures of the sun, no sound, just subtle signs that they're being watched. Mary shares her tragic backstory: drugs, trauma, and an unwanted pregnancy after being assaulted. Her son, born deformed and rejected by society, became her entire world. So she took him into the forest and raised him in isolation. Sympathy? Sure, but sympathy curdles fast when Mona, one of Carla's teammates, accidentally enters the son's room and is immediately torn to pieces. The next morning, Mary plays the concerned mother. Her son is missing, and she warns he might panic if he sees strangers. Carla, still chasing the story, joins her to search for him, while some of the crew decide to leave. But one by one, they're hunted down. Matt and Liz are slaughtered in the house. Shell and Ray almost escape, but the creature tracks them to their car, knocks them out, and drags them back into the woods. It's like a twisted fairy tale. Once you enter the witch's woods, you don't come back. Carla returns to the house to regroup, only to be greeted with a line that chills the blood. "My son has been waiting for you." She's then forced into a grotesque mock marriage ceremony, shackled beside Liz while Mary preaches about family. Ray is murdered as a gift to the monster groom. Shell attempts to escape, but is hunted down and killed. And Carla, she finally snaps. She confronts Mary in a moment of raw fury, not with a weapon, but with the truth. She tells her that she's the real monster, not her son, that she made him into this thing, fed him blood, locked him in a lie. That Mary is the architect of every death, and that hits hard. It's a theme most horror films sidestep. Evil isn't always born, it's built. In a brutal twist, Carla kills Mary in front of the creature, and in that moment, the real monster is unchained. Enraged, he chases Carla through the forest. She barely escapes in a passing car as he roars in the distance. Still alive, still hunting. The final shot doesn't give you peace, it gives you warning. This story isn't over. Let's talk about the real horror of Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I'm not just talking about the blood, guts, or jump scares. No, the horror here is psychological. It's manipulative. It's slow, stalking, and intimate. It doesn't scream at you. It whispers in your ear while tightening the rope around your neck. What makes this film work isn't just the demon in the woods. It's the human monster who raised it. Mary is the true horror. Her calm demeanor, her nurturing tone, her sad backstory. It all lulls you into lowering your guard. But underneath it, she's a cult leader disguised as a mother. She doesn't use chains. She uses love. And in horror, love twisted into control is more terrifying than any claws or fangs. She believes what she's doing is right. That delusion, that's where the dread really sinks in. Then there's her son, the creature. Let's be clear, he's not a villain. He's a product, built, broken, and brainwashed from birth. His design isn't over-the-top CGI or cartoonish gore. He's raw, animalistic, almost pitiful in how he moves and reacts. And that's why he works. He's not a Freddy or a Jason. He's something closer to Frankenstein's monster, a victim who became a predator. And this film doesn't give you clean scares. It doesn't rely on shallow tropes. There's no final girl pyro moment or goofy comic relief. It hits you with atmosphere, long silences, tight corridors, unnatural calm. You're watching people descend into madness, but it unfolds like a slow rot. You start feeling like Carla, 10 steps behind the danger, second-guessing yourself until it's too late. Now, let's be honest, it's not a perfect film. Some character decisions are reckless, bordering on idiotic. There are pacing issues in the second act. And yeah, some of the dialogue tries a little too hard to deliver exposition. But those flaws don't kill the experience. If anything, they heighten the sense of helplessness. These aren't heroes, they're content chasers, ego-driven and naive. And that's why they die. So why should you watch it? Because Mary Had a Little Lamb doesn't just scare you, it unnerves you. It gives you characters you want to yell at, monsters you pity, and a story that spirals into pure nihilism. It's a horror film that says, no one's coming to save you. No one ever was. It's daring, cruel, and uncomfortably real. If you're sick of cookie-cutter horror, where everyone lives and the monster gets conveniently shot in the last 2 minutes, this film is your antidote. It drags you into the woods, slams the door shut, and whispers, this is what horror looks like when it doesn't care if you sleep tonight. Mary Had a Little Lamb is a bleak, bold horror film that plays with trauma, manipulation, and the myth of safety. It's about what happens when isolation breeds delusion, when love becomes a weapon, and when survival isn't just about running faster. It's about realizing who the real monster is. And that ending? It leaves a scar. The creature survives. Carla barely escapes, and somewhere in that forest, a nightmare is still alive. If this kind of horror hits the spot for you, make sure to drop a comment below. Was Mary evil or just broken? Did her son deserve what he became? And how would you survive a night in that house? Smash that like button if you enjoy twisted breakdowns like this. And subscribe if you want more horror that doesn't play nice. Until next time, stay out of the forest. And if someone invites you into their home in the middle of nowhere,